If you're still writing prompts like act as a export marketer and write me a landing page, I have bad news. That skill is already obsolete. Not in 5 years, now. Prompt engineering was the skill of 2023. People got jobs doing it. Courses sold for thousands of dollars. And in the last 12 months, the entire industry quietly moved on. And almost nobody told you. I build AI systems for a living, real ones, agents that move money, tools that ship to hundreds of thousands of users. And in this video, I'm going to show you the skill that actually replaced prompting, why the world's best AI engineers stopped obsessing over wording, and the exact system I use so that any AI, Claude, ChatGPT, Gemini, doesn't matter, knows my business better than a new employee would after a month. At the end, I'll show you one file, one, that changed how I work with AI more than any prompt trick ever did. Let me show you something that would have blown minds in 2023. No ACTAS, no fancy structure, terrible grammar, and the answer is just fine. Actually, good. Here's what happened: the models got smart. 2 years ago, models were like brilliant interns with amnesia and bad hearing. You had to phrase everything perfectly or they'd wander off. So we invented all these tricks, role prompting, chain of thought, and they worked because the models were weak. Modern models don't need you to speak perfectly. They understand what you want even when you're sloppy. So if the answers you are getting are still generic and useless, and I know they are, because everyone tells me this, the problem isn't your wording anymore. The problem is what the model knows when it answers. Think about it like hiring. Imagine you hire a genius, literal genius, top of every field. You sit them down and say, write a Q3 marketing strategy. What do they produce? Garbage. Beautiful, confident, well formatted garbage. Not because they're not smart, because they don't know your customers, your product, your pricing, your past failures, what your CEO hates. Now imagine the same genius after reading every internal document, every sales call transcript, every support ticket, same brain, completely different output. That's the shift. The bottleneck moved from how you ask to what it knows when you ask. The industry has a name for this: context engineering. And I want to be precise here because term gets thrown around. Prompt engineering is how you communicate with the model. Context engineering is what the model has access to when it generates the answer. One is the instruction, the other is the entire information environment around the instruction. Prompting is now table stakes, like knowing how to type. Context is the multiplier. And here's the part that should get your attention. Companies are pouring serious money into this right now. Enterprise data teams rank AI ready context as the number one priority for this year. Above better models, above better prompts, the pros already made the switch. This video is you catching up. Quick question, be honest. Do you have one giant AI conversation that you just keep using for everything? It's got your marketing questions, your code, that argument you wanted help winning, a recipe, etc. Yeah, that's the problem. It's called context rot, and it's the number one reason your outputs get worse over time. Here's the mechanics, and this is the part that actually made AI click for me. A language model doesn't remember your conversation the way you think. Every single time it responds, it reads the entire conversation from the top and predicts what comes next. All of it. The recipe, the argument, the code, it's all in there, competing for attention. Every relevant message is noise in the signal. Models have limited attention, genuinely, mathematically limited. Fill the window with junk and the junk dilutes everything. That is why the answer, which was brilliant on message 3, is mediocre on message 47. So here's rule 1 of context engineering, and it costs you nothing. One conversation, one job. New task, new chat, ruthlessly. And when a long conversation produces something good but gets bloated, here's the pro move. Ask the AI, summarize everything we decided so far into a brief I can paste into a new conversation. Take that summary, open a fresh chat, paste it in. You just kept the signal and dumped the noise. That's context compression. Engineers building AI agents do exactly this programmatically because it's that important. Every serious AI system, every agent, every production tool, and every power user's workflow is built from the same 4 layers of context. I use this daily, steal it. Layer 1: identity. Who is answering? This is evolved version of act as an expert, but here's a trick most people miss. Generic roles produce generic outputs. Act as a marketer pulls from everything ever written about marketing, including the mediocre stuff. Constraints are what create quality. Compare two things. Act as marketing expert versus you are a conversation copywriter for B2B SaaS. You hate jargon. You write like ugly for landing pages. You always lead with customers' problem, never the product. The second one doesn't just pick a role, it excludes thousands of wrong answers before the model writes a word. That's the real function of identity. It's a filter, not costume. Layer 2, knowledge. What it knows about your world. This is the layer that separates amateurs from pros, and it's where your effort should go. Documents, transcripts, data, past examples of work you loved and work you hated. Here's a mental benchmark. If a smart stranger couldn't do the task with what's in your prompt, neither can the AI. Read your prompt and ask, could a genius consultant who's never heard of my company execute this? If no, you haven't given enough context. Attach the docs, paste the transcript, give it three examples of outputs you loved and one you hated, and tell it why. I do this with real projects. When I want AI to write like me, I don't say write in my style. I paste five things that I've actually written and say match this. The difference is literally night and day. Layer 3, task. What you want defined by outcome. Here's where I'll upgrade something you might have heard before. Most people push. They tell AI the steps. Do this, then this. Micromanaging a genius. Better define destination and let it navigate. And there's one sentence that unlocks this. Ready? Before you start, ask me every question. You need to do this perfectly. This flips the entire dynamic. Instead of you guessing what context it needs, the AI interviews you. It will ask things you never thought to include. Answer with voice input. Most people talk 4x faster than they type. And watch the output quality jump. By the way, this isn't a chat trick I invented. This is literally how professional software gets built with AI now. It's called spec driven development. Define the outcome and then constraints. Let the model plan the execution, review the plan, then let it work. The best engineers in the world work this way. You should too. Layer 4, format. How it comes back. Fastest layer, most skip. Don't describe the format, show it. Paste a template, a table structure, an example output with placeholder text. Models are pattern matchers. A template is a pattern it physically cannot escape. And think one step ahead. Where is this output going? Into a spreadsheet, ask for CSV. Into Notion, ask for Markdown. Into an email, give it your email signature style. Format is about the handoff, not aesthetics. The context file. Here's the one file. I call it context file. Some people call it master prompt or a briefing doc. Doesn't matter what you call it, it's a single document that contains everything an AI needs to know to work with you like a colleague instead of a stranger. Mine has who am I, what I build, my products, and exactly what they do, my customers, my writing voice with real examples, my strong opinions, things I always want and things I never want, and my current priorities. When I start any serious AI session, the file goes in first. Every tool, every model, instant transformation. The AI stops being a stranger and starts being someone who's worked with me for a year. And here's the beautiful part. You don't write this file, the AI writes it by interviewing you. Watch. So here's the prompt. I want to create a context file about my work that I can give to any AI so it deeply understands me. Interview me, ask one question at a time, dig into follow ups when my answer is vague, and don't stop until you have enough to write a complete brief. Then write it as a structured document. Look at that. Same model, same request. One knows me, one doesn't. Three rules for context files. One per role. Your business file and your fitness file are different documents. Remember, context rot. Don't mix. Second, it's a living document. Big decision, new product, update the file. 5 minutes a month. 3. Save it where you can grab it instantly. And if your AI tool supports projects or custom instructions, Claude projects, custom GPTs, Gemini gems, paste it there once and it loads automatically forever. That's a system prompt. instructions that persist so you never have to repeat yourself. You've just built your first AI system. Congratulations. Most people never get here. If models keep getting better, getting smarter, and they will, even context engineering will get easier. Tools will manage context automatically. So, what's actually durable? After building with AI every single day, shipping products with it, here's my honest answer: three things. One, judgment. AI generates opinions at superhuman speed. It cannot tell you which option is right for your situation because right depends on things that were never written down anywhere. Your market, your gut, the deal that fell through last year, the thing your best customer said offhand. AI produces. And selection is where all value is concentrated. But yeah, here's the uncomfortable part. Judgment comes from exposure to excellence. If your inputs are doom scrolling, your judgment is average, and average judgment plus AI equals average output. Faster. Curate what you consume like your career depends on it. It does. 2. Direction. AI is the best answer machine ever built. It is not a question machine. Every output starts with a human deciding what's worth doing. The people winning with AI right now aren't better prompters, they see problems worth solving that others walk past. That's vision, and no context window contains it. Protect thinking time. Real thinking, no inputs, no feeds, just you and a hard question. It feels unproductive, but it's the highest leverage hour of your week. 3. Trust. Here's a prediction you can hold me to. As AI generated everything floods the world, content, code, products, all of it. The scarce resource stops being production and becomes trust. Who do I believe? Who actually cares whether this works for me? A machine can simulate care in text. It cannot show up for someone over years. Every genuine relationship you build is a moat that compounds while everyone else's content gets cheaper. AI took over production. That leaves judgment, direction, and trust. Notice something? Those were always the highest paid skills. AI didn't change what's valuable, it just deleted everything that was hiding it. So, here's your homework. And it's one thing. Open your AI tool and run the interview prompt from section 4. 15 minutes. You'll have a context file that upgrades every single AI interaction you will have from now on. I'll pin the exact prompt in my comments and drop a comment telling me the first task you're throwing your context file at. I read all of them, and the best ones are going into a follow up video where I'll build a full automated system on camera from empty screen to working agent. If this reframed how you think about AI, the next video to watch is this one, where I take everything from today and turn it to an agent that works while I sleep. See you there.